This September 12th, SON Estrella Galicia are back in London with their micro festival at Hackney's Paper Dress Vintage. With live music, beer culture, street food and workshops, SON Estrella Galicia is the musical arm of the family-owned independent Estrella Galicia beer brand, which has been creating unforgettable music experiences since 2009. The September the 12th event will be headlined by Coach Party with support from the New Weaves, as well as yet-to-be-announced DJ sets and local music selectors. There'll be a clothing repair workshop to customise your repaired clothes, a local food vendor serving 0 kilometre food with veggie and vegan options, a Soundcrafters interactive workshop, and a beer pouring workshop. Alongside the London event, there'll be a series of new micro-festivals in Madrid, A Coruña, Barcelona later in 2024, and Berlin and Granada in 2025, reflecting a truly global approach from SON Estrella Galicia. So if you're in London, September the 12th, swing by Hackney's Paper Dress Vintage for SON Estrella Galicia. Tickets are available now via Dice. As an independent music podcast, 101 Part-Time Jobs highly recommends DistroKid as the best solution to putting out your own music online. You can join 1 million other artists from all across the world putting out their own music on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere else across the DSPs where people are listening to your music. My dream as a kid was to run a small little label, and now with DistroKid, getting music out online is the easiest it ever has been, making 100% of your own royalties while paying a small annual fee. And that fee's even smaller as a 101 Part-Time Jobs listener. Head to distrokid.com/VIP/101pod to get 30% off your first year putting out your own music on DistroKid. Getting your own music out into the world has never been easier. Head to distrokid.com/VIP/101pod to get the best deal you can.
Sergeant and Mrs. Smith, you're going to love this house.
Is that a tub in the kitchen?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Part-time jobs, I'm 100 hour part-time jobs. I've been working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 101, 101.
Hey, and welcome along to 101 Part-Time Jobs. I'm Giles Bidder, and I speak to bands and musicians about one thing that we've all got in common. And that's waking up on a Monday morning and going to work. On today's episode, we hear from Chris Hughes and Joe Love of Fat Dog, about to release their debut album, WOOF, produced by James Ford, who is the guy behind the sounds of Arctic Monkeys, Blur, Florence and the Machine, Fontaines DC. James Ford has produced this debut album by Fat Dog, and it sounds absolutely wild. Their live shows are feral. You can catch them on tour around the UK this November. I've seen it a couple of times, and it's just blown me away. If you haven't seen them live yourself, go catch them this November, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. This is Fat Dog on 101 Part-Time Jobs. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy this chat, make sure you subscribe to the show. We put out 2 episodes every week with bands and artists who we find interesting and exciting. Come join us. Click subscribe on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening to this, and we'd love to have you around. All right, after the jump, it's Chris and Joe from Fat Dog here on 101 Part-Time Jobs.
101 Part-Time Jobs.
No, they've still got loads of eels in the Thames. There's loads of life in the Thames. You can catch pike.
No, you can catch Legionnaire's disease as well.
Yeah, true. You can if you want.
How long have you lived in London? And what's just because 101 part-time jobs? I think the core of it comes from like being someone who's well into music and like wanting to do something creative, but living in a city where it's so expensive.
Oh yeah.
What are both of your stories?
Well, we both live with our mums, so
it's
been easier. And I
It's
got
true.
to my mum's house and my girlfriend's mum's house, so it's always had a bit of time to do some music.
I live with my parents because I can't.
It's a
I
London
can't not
thing.
do that.
This is it.
But,
That's the being a professional musician.
It is a professional museum. It's lots of stuff in there.
It's difficult though, right? I mean, you're late 20s.
Mid 20s. Yeah, I'm 24.
Have you panicked? How much have you panicked in your life about this kind of stuff?
I'm constantly panicking now, but I've got to make something good right now because I really don't want to be a kitchen porter again.
Yeah, there is that. I still do shifts. The first job I had when I left school was just working as a cheesemonger.
Yeah,
and I'm actually doing that on the 24th.
And you mature the cheese as well, right?
Yeah,
you get stuck in.
Je suis un affineur. Yeah, get really stuck into it. I got trained by this old French guy called Jules, who's like great grandfather started the company, and he was telling me that you got to wash the cheese with. It's like a horse brush, and it's like washing a big cheese with brine. And he was like, you must treat it like a beautiful woman, but also she's kind of kinky, so you don't want to be too soft. You want to be quite rough. It's like the most French introduction to cheesemongering. So that was pretty cool.
Set off on the right foot.
Yeah.
That's nice. There's an art in it. I feel like if you can do something and there's some kind of creativity in it.
Yeah, I think there's a certain element in the cheese in the cheese business.
People care. It's made with love.
It is made with love, because especially those cheeses, like they're all made using like there's not many people making them. And there's not many cows or something, and you think about the actual like the physical process of getting the milk and all of that. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Well, it's nice to have
pretty
something
vigilant the whole
I
time.
quite like the fact that just people want to be the master of anything. Like I was watching Dinner Day yesterday, and this guy was just really into cider, and he made his own cider, but he was so fucking passionate about it.
I love it. I really love that stuff. I think the Japanese also have that kind of cultural element. I think, you see these guys who train for years just to make one specific kind of bonsai scissor for cutting bonsai leaves or something. It's incredible.
Well, it's nice to care about something. I feel like as British people, it's sort of like beaten out of us.
We're drawn to cynicism, I think, and because you don't want to show too much passion, or you get called a nonce or something.
And like, there's not much opportunity, I feel like, for most people I know, like coming out of school and like, okay, what can you think about something that you care about, and like get an apprenticeship. I mean, that's like a big one. I mean, how many apprenticeships are left outside of things like Leckies and plumbing?
True.
I think it's kind of a mad time, and it's easy to get like down and out about this, but I think my philosophy on it is like, okay, if you can try and kind of trick yourself or trick your surroundings into being able to do something fun and express yourself, you're onto something good.
I think sometimes you just got, something I remember at school as well. I found if you you have to find one thing that's interesting about everything that you're doing, because there's so much boredom at school. Just so many things about this subject that you're just like, oh, it's a nightmare in math, history or whatever. So you just got to try and like force yourself to find some sort of interesting bit of it.
And the teachers that like fucking actually care.
Oh yeah,
like the most wholesome people.
Heroes.
Did you have some good teachers?
I had the shittest teachers, and I had like some of the best teachers. Like even subjects that you'd be really shit at, and they would make you be like. I had a really good English teacher when I was in year 7 or something. He was just the fucking greatest bloke, to be fair. He was just like, just gave 110% into his thing, and in like a thing where you can just be so lazy being a teacher.
Yeah. Was it a good text that he gave you? Was it like a good Old Man in the Sea?
It wasn't even.
Oh, did you do like a Robin Williams kind of thing? He's like, oh, Captain, my Captain.
No, he was just a good guy. It wasn't even about English. He'd be like, we're going to watch Terminator 2 today because it's a fucking sick film.
Yeah, I think certain teachers, it's not even about like, I don't know, it's not even necessarily about the subject, but when they come on to certain respect through not being arseholes, just being like quite calm and obviously knowing what they're doing, there's a certain charisma with that's really, really nice, and you feel almost compelled to want to do better for them. Yeah.
It's an attractive quality, that, because I think a lot of people feel like insecure, and I think like a knock-on effect of being insecure is like not being approachable.
Yeah.
And I feel like it changes things when you can try and be approachable, or when you're around people who are approachable. It makes quality of life better.
Oh, 100%. I think, I don't know. I think as English people, everyone's got these kind of like perpetually hunched shoulders, head to the ground kind of thing. And having people who kind of try and break that down a bit is really nice. It's kind of tough to adapt to, though, because you'll have someone who's like that, and your body kind of goes into fight or flight almost, where you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you meet someone who's nice, and you're like, do I trust you?
Yeah. Then what are you hiding?
Someone was talking to me on the bus today, and it was like too early.
Yeah,
It's like,
how are you talking to me at 9:30 in the morning?
Maybe.
People don't do that here.
But that's what music gives us. And I don't think it's a tenuous link to draw it back to Fat Dog, is when you go to a Fat Dog show, that's a place where you can let your freak flag fly.
Yeah.
for the week.
And this is exactly the kind of place as British people, or people who maybe aren't used to being around like-minded people who want to have fun. That's like a space to do it.
I think that's why I think the Brits have always come up with such great music compared to a lot of, like, if you go to European countries and you walk down the streets and everything's beautiful. It's like Belgium. You go there, everything's beautiful. They have quite a like polite society. Everyone cycles. It's all green and nice. But they're all quite free with each other. And then you're like, oh, you're not really getting any music done, because you don't need to have an outlet for all of this like pent up
I would
feelings.
say Belgium would be the place. They're more like Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland's a great example of this. I guess
got great music coming out of it.
Belgium does.
It is
yeah.
a bit of a shithole. Some of it.
Some of it is a shithole. Yeah, the more shitholes, I think, the greater the output of music.
Do you feel like when you put on a hat for the first time, was that like a symbolic part of it, of letting that?
Or put on the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I remember when that cowboy hat came into play.
I had a cowboy hat before you, mate.
Yeah, I know, but you sent me, because I showed you the cowboy hat.
It was a shit one.
He
had a Stetson. I was like, yeah.
I showed you the cowboy hat, and you were like, "Can you bring it, please?" And then you sent me another text that was like an hour later, for my confidence.
Have you got used to talking about the kind of image of Fat Dog?
Not really.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if we have that much of a defined image. Maybe that is the image.
Were you joking? Have you seen yourselves on stage?
I try not
It's
to think
fancy
about
dress.
Is it?
Dress.
Great.
Nah, Joe's walking around in a karate suit all the time.
Yeah.
It's just
Sorry, yeah.
it's his business wear.
So today, it's just in the dry
Yeah.
cleaners at the moment.
Yeah.
One of my favourite touches is the Catan sticker.
Oh yeah. Well, I do really like Sellers of Catan. That's been on my laptop for years though, so it's like, we do have that on the laptop, but then that's just something I've always liked playing. So,
but it's such like an identity thing. I feel like it's basically like a bumper size.
Yeah, it is a massive bumper sticker size thing.
And it's just like projecting like, we are gamers. We play board games.
Yeah, but I've never played board games with Joe. That's the thing. I've got my separate little group of mates who I play Catan with. You like a bit of
I play a little bit of something.
Little cards or something.
Yeah, cards or a little bit. Bring out the Monopolies.
Monopolies. Oh,
it requires some patience.
Yeah, I fucking hate Monopoly, to be fair. Yeah, I think it's a kid thing.
I've played Monopoly twice.
My brother used to always just sit on all the fucking money and be like, no, that's cheating. You can't have secret stashes of
Just
money.
like real life.
Yeah.
No, I've played Monopoly twice, and I won the first time, and I was like, I'm the king of the world. This is the best thing. And then I lost the second time. I was like, I'm never fucking playing this game again.
Also, people always get bought back in. It's like when you play poker with someone, and you'd be like, oh yeah, have some things,
Yeah.
and then you'd be like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning now. Can the game just fucking
why
end?
does Monopoly go on for so fucking long?
How's it been this year? Are you tired? Because this is like, being in a band is like a different way to live. Like, we were up at 9 in the morning. You've already done one interview before this. They're working you hard.
Well, yeah, we get worked hard.
Well, yeah, we're hard-working little piggies.
Yeah.
Come naturally?
No, I've only just developed a work ethic now.
Yeah.
I mean, before I was the laziest piece of shit of all time, and I kind of miss it.
I
feel like I used to be able to chill a little bit more. Now I feel like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that.
I kind of go into like soldier mode when we're on tour. Like,
Yeah.
my brain just goes like, this task has to be done, this task has to be done. And I don't know, I used to be in the cadets, so I think that just kicks in still.
Yeah. Hunter-gatherer mode.
Yeah, pretty much. I've always been more drawn to that kind of way of thinking anyway. I think my dad always says like you can call it stress or you can call it energy, and I definitely try and think of that every time we're on tour or something like that, and just do the thing that has to be done. I'm also quite a big advocate for like a small amount of suffering in life, in like maybe in some sort of like Russian Orthodox way. It's just like having to do tough things is not a bad thing. I mean, I'm not saying that the actual doing of the music's tough, but like just the kind of schlepping everything everywhere.
You get that in the record as well. There's a couple of lyrics, a couple of lines that have that on the record that are a bit more like on Wither.
Oh yeah,
Wither before you go.
Or Wither before you die. Yeah.
That's it. Terminate.
Yeah. Isn't that just kind of like you want to kind of grow old?
Yeah, it's kind of been like, you can't go now. You have to fucking wither before you go.
Playing music is a bit of a natural high.
Yeah, big time.
A bit too, it may be a bit cringy to say, but it's true.
That you actually do get these like massive adrenaline and dopamine bursts, and then you kind of do get. I mean, at least I found that especially when we come off tour, I get this kind of weird come down feeling where I'll be at home, and I know I'm tired, but then I'll have this feeling like you've done something wrong. Something's wrong here. Why are you at home?
That's like, interesting. You've done something wrong after doing something that's pretty fucking mega.
It's also like, what sort of thing in normal day life, when do you get people like clapping after you've done something and hyping you up and thinking that you're sick and stuff?
It's true.
It's not like kind of natural for your brain. I think a little part for you has to always be like, it ain't real.
That's true.
It's all just, you've done your job good, but it's all fictional.
They don't know the truth.
Yeah.
Do you think it makes it slightly easier that the sound of Fat Dog is like sensationalist?
Yeah, I think it makes it easier because the fact that we're obviously, it's kind of made up in a way.
Yeah.
That it makes it so you don't have, like, I feel bad for people, not bad, but I feel like it's a weird thing if your character leads into be bare egocentric in the first place, and then you're the same way like that on stage. Because when you get off stage, you're the exact same, and you just. But we're kind of a bit more
separate the on stage and the off stage quite well, because it's so like the on stage stuff can get quite like insane at points, very intense, and you can't go through life like that. Right. You can, but like
I don't think you'd be mentally well.
No, I don't think so at all. I think you'd end up with loads of bruises and scars and stuff. I don't really understand it.
I couldn't just make like a spag bowl and watch The Chase with my girlfriend if I was like that, I think.
No.
And I enjoy doing that. So.
What about going to the studio and working with James Ford, which is ace? I mean, he doesn't need to do anything if he doesn't want to. That must
be
man,
he's fucking workhorse.
He's had a couple of years himself, hasn't he? Jeez.
Absolute mental. Like
Did us, Last Dinner Party,
Fontaines, DC,
Blur, Pet Shop Boys.
And this is all in the space of a year also. Kind of like the guy is busy,
and then he's penciling in your band's name.
We were wedged in between Blur and Pet Shop Boys.
I think it's always hard when you're, and also when I'm asking him to do really, like I'll drag out the thing so much, and he, to be fair, he gave me a lot of time. Comparing that, he was very busy with the other stuff.
Dragging out like songwriting.
No, it wasn't songwriting. It was just like recording and being like, that doesn't work. For the first song, Our King of the Slugs, I was really, because it was our first single, I really wanted to just hit, and it took a couple months, to be fair, but you don't have time to make a song in a couple months, to be fair.
So were you telling James Ford like, nah, it's got to sound different?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was co-produced really, so it was like sometimes it's like you're working in a way to be like, that doesn't work, or that sounds shit, and he probably thinks the same sort of stuff.
You've got to be honest, right?
Yeah, well, I don't really care who he is, to be fair, at the end of the day. I mean, he's a lovely guy, but the most important thing for me is making my music sound right.
Yeah.
And that's, you could ask any musician and they'd say the same thing.
It's true.
Is this your first band?
No, second band.
First band, did they do some shows?
Yeah, we did some shows.
You were doing pretty well.
You did all right. I think we kind of like, you're a buzz band and you kind of don't act on it, and it just
you watch it all fade away.
Yeah, when you think
tears
it's cool.
in the rain.
I think it's like a whole thing when you're younger. Also, like you just get those bands that just like drink beer. Like I was talking to my drummer and he's in the same sort of scene, and you're just drinking loads, and then you play with a band that's actually good, and you'd be like, oh fuck, this is embarrassing. Actually, we thought we were too sick.
So you already learned some lessons before Fat Dog then.
I think it's a dangerous thing to go down the I mean, fucking Leah Saudi will say different, but I think that rock star idea is it's kind of a farce.
Well, I think I spoke with him a couple of months, and that's kind of what he was saying. He was like, actually, I can't get fucked every day.
No.
I don't like being hungover.
Yeah, it took him a while to figure that one out.
A good decade.
I'm glad we have people like him to kind of pave the way so that we can figure it out.
He's bare like an uncle. When he sees us, we sometimes play gigs with like just him or DCS, like and he comes and he says little bits like. He'll first come and he'll ask like, "You got a key?"
He's Fat Dog. Got any cat?
Yeah. And he'll spread some wisdom. He'll say, you know, when you go back home, don't, you know, because it's like what you were saying. It's a mad amount of like weird thing to have like every day. Someone's clapping and thinks you're fucking sick.
Yeah.
Then you go home and it's nothing.
It's the feast and famine kind of thing that always fucks people up in this industry. I think the intensity and then just this barrenness of I still live with my mum.
And with scenes, though, people are going to talk about Fat Whites and like the Windmill and like Tim Perry, for people who know Tim, who's such a great guy. I mean, I put on a gig there in 2010 and he didn't charge me higher. I was like, that's great. It was a Tuesday night, and he was like, well, if 50 people come and people spend at the bar, then that'll pay the sound person.
What do you mean he didn't charge you higher? Was that
as in I didn't pay to hire the venue for the night.
No, that would never happen in Windmill.
Yeah, not if Seamus was awake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bit of trouble.
Yeah, maybe. No,
Tim Perry's a wicked guy. He gives me quite a bit of work outside of Fat Dog.
Okay.
Just doing my DJ set or comparing the karaoke. Mm-hmm. When you fall on hard times, I go there when I know there's a karaoke night, and I know Otis, the sound man, he hates doing the comparing because you have to deal with so much bullshit. People being like, "You skipped me."
So you're getting on stage with the microphone and
I just start doing that, and Tim gives me a little packet of money.
Yeah, quality. And, hey, if you can get it.
Yeah. You gotta just do these things. Got to thrust yourself into it when you need a bit of cash, I think.
100%. I think that if you can be a bit rogue like that and kind of get away with it if your rent's cheap enough, or you can stay at families' houses.
Yeah, it's nice. That's it. I think that venue is really nice in loads of ways, and around that, just because he is pretty open to just giving people opportunities.
Yeah, and it's rare.
There's the
Bird's Nest in Deptford, and I can't think of anywhere else that has like free or cheap gigs.
Yeah. For sure.
Bird's Nest still going on? I used to go there.
Did you?
It's funny that we talk about like it's funny that everyone talks about the Windmill scene, and I was thinking about it and I was like, well, actually the reason that exists is just because you have like a show on every day of the week with like 3 to 4 bands playing every night, and that's 365 days of the year pretty much. You're gonna sift through enough shit and find some gold, you know. Every time we come back from tour, I'll be in like St Pancras or like Stansted or Gatwick, and I'll just immediately look up the Windmill because I'm trying to get some sort of like last juice out of the adrenaline, and going there kind of fixes that a bit.
Well, to go there as a punter.
Yeah, it's quite a nice feeling. Yeah. It always ends up really bad though. I always end up just missing everything and sitting outside just having a cigarette, kind of like, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Joe, have you done much side hustles in town? Any day jobs of note?
To be fair, I've last year and a half I've dedicated it all to Fat Dog.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've had no time to do. I'm literally.
He's been working hard
because I do most of the stuff, and now I got no time anymore. Do the music, do the recording.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to come out. I was trying to get this fucking second album done. But it's just like, it's impossible. I was like, I gotta make the second album before, or at least something before the first album comes out, because I'm gonna have fucking no time. But it's too hard. You can't separate. When you haven't recorded your first thing, it's like still in the back of your mind.
I think it would be nice if we could be one of those bands that has quite a high output. I don't know.
I don't want a high output.
No, you know what? No, you know what I mean. Where you just like, you don't want to wait like 2 years for the second album.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna.
That's what I mean.
It must be hard to write when you're traveling.
I just do it on my laptop in the back of the van.
You're doing pretty well with that.
But then you get a bit too much chit chat going on. My noise cancelling doesn't do too good noise cancelling.
It depends who's in the van. Some people are more chatty than others.
It's an interesting mix. I find that fascinating where it's fun, but the thing that's driving the fun is being organised and ultimately like the work.
Yeah. I think that's what I've started doing. It's just being like, right,
it's a job.
The live stuff is second, and making, because I've got stuff done behind on already, so I just need to like do that.
Second album stuff. I mean, that's foresight.
Well, it's not even foresight, mate. It's like
it's just
everything
what has to
just
be done.
Yeah. The last one took so long that I just, or not even the second album, just new music in it.
And I think when you have the album coming out, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Keeping the momentum of that going is really, really important, because otherwise, like, I think there are certain bands maybe that they get so excited by the fact they release the first thing that they kind of rest on their laurels for a bit, and then I think it just like it leads to a kind of weaker output than you could have. And Joe's right, you kind of do have to look at this as not just, it's a really great job, but it is a job, and.
I love making music, so I'm not saying it's a lovely thing to do.
What does the new stuff sound like?
I don't know. It's just loads of it sounds a bit different. I'm making loads more shit pop music, which I kind of like, but
it lends itself very nicely to some dance moves.
Yeah, I think because the first album, pretty much every song has this one scale in it.
This one
kind of musical scale.
Yeah.
That sounds quite like Egyptian, klezmer-y, what have you. And I don't think we're necessarily married to the idea of keeping that for a second album.
I think you don't want to be trying to make songs that sound like you. I think that's a bit boring. That's
don't want to be a one-trick pony. Hey, minor harmonic scale.
Yeah, also you got to think like people are always going to hate your new stuff. I mean, you gain fans, you lose fans. I think that's the sort of thing.
That is the circle.
I mean, you always play the songs that people like to hear. I don't like those sort of bands that be like, we're just going to play everything from our new album now. No one wants that. They want you to play your fucking
the bangers. Yeah. Just give the people what they want.
You can listen to that first song at home. You don't have to come to the show. If you
don't but if you got an hour and a half show, like
fucking imagine if we have an hour and a half show.
Fuck yeah. No.
Hey,
think about that.
It's funny talking about this and like being reflective on your time, because it feels like you've been a band for a few years, but really it's kind of been a hot minute, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been about.
It's gotten really busy in the past,
in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months, it's been
it's been pretty constant.
Nice. Well, have fun with it.
Yeah.
And have a good summer.
We are.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Talk about part-time jobs. I'm a big fan of the fuck up at the workplace, of smashing shit or maybe costing your boss a lot of money.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's been there. Do you have a good memory, Chris, of fucking up the cheese stack?
Oh yeah, big time. So I used to have to get in to this warehouse in Bermondsey really early in the morning, probably 6, because these vans from France would come in with wheels of Comte and Gruyere, and the first job I had to do was unload them and then basically wash all of them and put them on these racks. And then a one wheel of Gruyere weighs maybe 43 kilos, and you have to lift it from below your knees, flip it, and then put it above your head on a shelf.
Sounds like an Olympic sport.
Yeah, and they're so expensive as well. They're one thing of Gruyere, it's 43 pounds a kilo, and they're they're insanely expensive. And in the midst of doing that, the floor's really wet because the hygiene standards are crazy. Just slipped when I was at the top of that, did my back out, the wheel fell on the floor, cracked in half. Can't sell that shit because it's just raw milk. So it's just you've just cost the company a shit ton of money, that kind of thing. Or just I think when I was younger, when you're doing customer facing stuff, I think my personal hygiene was just a bit shit.
You're picking your nose.
Shit like that, or just doing a fart. I got called up to the boss because I did a fart and someone complained. Or
where was this?
Yeah, so I can't give it away, can I? I've got to keep this relatively anonymous or the whole company's going down. But it's they have a shop in Borough Market and they have a shop in Dulwich.
When was the last time you did a fart in a crowd?
Constantly.
The guys are always
I'm so lactose intolerant. But it's nice when you do it in the crowds in gigs and stuff. It's like I'll go into the crowd for the second song, I'll just let loose, and I'll just start blaming random Swiss, French, or Belgian people. Be like, "Ugh, that stinks. Get out of here."
I feel so self-conscious even if I smell a fart in the crowd as a punter, because I'm like, oh, people thought that was me.
Nah,
it's pretty.
I'm a pretty confident farter. I think maybe it's a European thing, because my mum's French and she walks around the house farting like it's nothing.
French, I think they're a bit less farty.
Naked and farting. I
German,
think Germans.
Alsatian. She's like
maybe
Swiss
Germans
German
like they eat loads of sauerkraut and stuff.
Exactly.
My partner's German, and her parents used to walk around naked.
Yeah,
a lot, and I think it's quite a German thing.
I think my parents did that when I was a kid, but I can't do that anymore.
You can't do it. You get arrested.
No.
Joe, what was your biggest workplace gaff?
Ooh, to be fair, I know exactly which one it was. I was working, me and my brother were working. He was a sous chef and I was kitchen porter. And this is when I'm a bit younger, but he
fun to work with your brother.
Yeah, it's very nice. He always got me involved in, because I'd always be broke and he'd be like, "I'll come be the kitchen porter."
Yeah.
And then I got fired from the job because he just walked up behind me and pants me, so my arse was out, and then the boss walked out just like and saw my arse in the kitchen, and then like a few days later he just said, "No, it's not a fucking playground, it's a workplace."
It's fucking hilarious.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fire me?
I think because you can't fire the sous chef, innit? Kitchen porters are easy to replace.
Your brother knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I know.
My memories of being a porter is like burning my hands a lot, but the smell of all the leftover food going into the bin,
horrible,
it's like a real specific smell.
It's oil, weird oil in it.
It sort of smells like worse than anything. It smells worse than poo.
Did you replace the oil with the new oil?
No, never did that.
That's a bad job, because you're like fucking shaking, and if it goes over, you look like you're fucking up everything.
Yeah. I used to have to work with the industrial grade bleach. There's like to disinfect the floors and stuff, and you're meant to mix it with like lukewarm water, but then sometimes you'd mix it with like boiling water by accident, and then it would just be this steaming gaseous bleach in the air.
Well, and if you breathe that in,
your face would just go red. I've spilt some into a welly boot, and the whole bottom of my foot peeled off. I think there's a certain dark underbelly to the cheesemongering world that doesn't get much of a look in.
There's a story there.
Yeah, there's some real darkness, some real brutality.
So there was Chris and Joe from Fat Dog here on 101 Part-Time Jobs. Cheers for being here. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed that and you want to hear some more. Like I said, we put out 2 episodes every week, all with bands and artists that we're listening to, who we find exciting and interesting. We'd love to have you along for it. Cheers.
101 Part-Time Jobs is hosted by Giles Bidder and produced by me, Olivia Swash. This has been a Mighty Moon Media production.